Let's get vulnerable, shall we? Vulnerability as a superpower. Vulnerability creates connection. The power of vulnerability. And what I notice for myself is there is a nuance within the sharing. So I want to get into that with you. Because how vulnerable we can be with ourselves first and then with the people around us is really what generates the deep connection and the deep trust that creates the foundation for the next generation as well, right? Like, we've got to model what it is that we want to install, because we can talk a good talk, and if we're not walking the walk, it's not gonna land. It just doesn't work that way. So vulnerability, and what I'm really noticing and embodying in my own system this past week in particular, is the difference between sharing from this state of like, I'm incomplete and I'm in need. And I want to be very careful with the phrasing of that, because we all have needs, and that's okay. And you get to ask for what it is that you need. There's a way of being with that. So vulnerability from need looks like, I'm experiencing this and I need you to make it better by acting in a certain way, by validating me in a certain way, by stopping a certain behaviour or stopping speaking certain words. All of the power of it, of the vulnerable share, lies in the other person. We literally hand ourselves and our peace and our happiness over to another and put all of the responsibility at their door for our peace, our happiness. Vulnerability like that very rarely will create that feeling of support that we so desire and require. It will very rarely create the connection that we desire and require, because we're looking in the wrong direction. We're looking for something external to make the internal feel okay. When we can be with the entirety of who we are, the full range of the emotions. So for me, there's been a lot of grief running through my system this past week. Like, a lot. My heart's been hurting. And there's still emotion in that for me. I'm still growing through that. Being with that. And sometimes, when I'm with my kids, I can feel quite sad. And for me, being able to be vulnerable enough to say, I'm feeling sad in this moment. Even in this space, right? Like, there's nothing I need from you. And I'm going to express, this is what's present for me. This is what's alive for me. I'm doing it with an awareness that nothing in me is broken Nothing in me is missing. I don't need anything from outside to fix this. This is mine to be with. My gift. For me. And something really interesting happens when we share from that place. We bring it into adult to adult relationships. I've had conversations where I felt I was being vulnerable and I was saying, this is what I need. Coming from this place of lack. And it never landing. And I would get so confused. I'd be like, but why? Why am I still not getting? Like, I'm doing all the things. I'm baring my soul. I'm being vulnerable. But that connection that I crave is not there. And it's because I never had it with myself. I didn't have a good relationship with myself. I felt like I had to perform a certain something in order to be good enough to receive love and validation and a sense of enoughness. Fill in the blanks there, right? So when we can be honest and vulnerable and loving with ourselves, then that opening that we do with others, that revealing that we do, that in itself is the result, the reward, the connection, that action of sharing what's present for me from wholeness to another. It's very fulfilling. It's very connecting. And again, we get to model to the people around us and to our kids. We get to go first to show I have the capacity to be with all of my emotions. I have the capacity to be the source of my own fulfillment. I'm not incomplete. I don't need someone else to complete me. I'm resourced from within. And because of that, whatever I have going on in me, I can be sad, I can have grief, I can have frustration, I can have all of it. I know how to experience my own wholeness, and therefore, even with all of that stuff present, I can give to others. I can show up for others, not for some fix of validation or worth, but because that's the natural expression of who I am, and I'm connected to that. So this subtle shift, and sometimes it can be very subtle, but just noticing, where am I coming from? Am I expecting something outside of me to relieve a discomfort or to complete me? In essence, am I trying to get something? Or am I sharing? I'm open to receive. Because there's a difference in that. feels complete for now. I'd love to know what you hear in this for you. I'd love to know if you've noticed the distinction, how you experiencing the distinction between needing and coming from lack versus revealing, giving from overflow, and knowing that what I put out into the world is what I'm going to get back. Sending you so much love.